Hard Travelin, Fall 1980, Episode 6. Rochester, New York. Not one of the world's most attractive cities, except in the spring during the Lilac Festival. But now it's dark, gray, cold, dirty, littered. As I walk into the bus station with my oversized pack on my back, I accidentally bump into a large, overweight man. He turns around and bawls in my ear, "You hit me again and I'll deck your ass, buddy." Horribly ugly New York accent, horribly ugly soul that utters such unsociable crap. Stick your head up your ass and fart," I reply. He looks belligerent, but slightly pleased. Maybe I'm okay after all, he thinks. I guess he doesn't think his honor is worth defending, and I have to agree with him, because he shuttles off without another word. Good thing, too. I'm not sure how fast I could have run with this pack on. The Eastman School of Music is another one of those incredibly gorgeous, extraneous buildings that has very little to do with the lives and interests of most of the citizens of the city in which it sits. But I'm not in a philosophical mood today, and I am content to just be awed. I'm here to visit another very important man, composer Joseph Schwantner. The atmosphere of the building, the students, the music of 50 different simultaneous rehearsals, all wafting out into the halls and galleries and corridors and lounges, the massive rosetta and chandelier that forms the overwhelming canopy to the main auditorium, it all just crashes and bashes against my culture-starved brain, and I just want to stop and live there among these walls. This is home. Albert, release me. I don't want to go any further. I come out of my interview with Schwantner, and a familiar face pokes around the corner. "I can't believe it. What are you doing here?" A great big hug and wild excitement. "It's Maria. Dear little Maria, the violist." I knew she was here, but hadn't even begun to look for her yet. "Hiya, pal." "I can't believe it. It's so nice to see you. What are you doing here?" She shows me the school, and we talk non-stop about the past, mutual friends, mutual hopes and fears, ugly Rochester with its ugly fat man and its litter and its dirty buildings, but that all fades away as the magic of the place sinks its claws into me once again. Music, the light of the world, the crazy profession concerned with the construction and manipulation of complicated sonic wave patterns. What a way to spend your life! But what a way to spend your life! Though it's strange that such a complicated, mature art form developed for the aural senses. Why sound? Why not touch or smell? Dinner in the dorm, surrounded by talk of Picardy thirds, Strads versus Amatis, disputes over opus numbers. It's wonderful. It's esoteric, but wonderful. I'm in heaven. The Philharmonic is playing tonight. That's the top student orchestra that Howard Hanson made famous with his recordings of new music. We get tickets and sit in rapt wonder. Beethoven's Creatures of Prometheus, full of power and yet still balanced and contained. The Prelude and Liebestod from Wagner's Tristan and Isolde, with its weird and wonderful, undefinable chord progressions. Handel's Zadok the Priest, with its sparkling Baroque perfection of form and structure. Stravinsky's Symphony of Psalms, surely one of the most powerfully moving works of the 20th century with its neoclassic outward appearance and yet its underlying assurance that its creator has been far and he's returned to neoclassicism only after a long journey through fire. And the fugue, the great double fugue in the second movement, one in the orchestra and one in the chorus, intricately intertwining. It's beyond words. That's why it's music. And finally, Respighi's The Pines of Rome, complete with its goofy little tape of bird calls. I always imagined the tape recorder technician sitting backstage in heart-pounding excitement, eagerly awaiting his big moment of glory, the conductor's cue that tells him to flip the switch. Sure, it's a 20th century warhorse, entirely overplayed, but still a magical exploration of orchestral colors. The orchestra is superb, the performance brilliant. Oh, Lord, Lord, I just want to stay here forever and ever. Maria takes me to the local musicians' hangout for pizza and beer, and our eyes are shining, our minds swirling. I can't explain why music packs such a punch, but it does. And a good performance sets my thoughts going. Right now I've got ideas for about 3 pieces I'd like to write, and I can hear them in their entirety. A band piece, an orchestra piece, and a chamber piece for 4 flutes, harp, and percussion, all crashing around at once in a crazy cacophony. Oh God, I need some music paper and 3 months of uninterrupted concentration. But tomorrow I have to stick my thumb out and head for Boston. Crap! My schizophrenia is confronting itself. A head full of ideas and no time to get them down. A restless night on the floor in Maria's room, trying to put away the musical thoughts that I just can't afford to deal with right now. It's hard. They're good ideas and they know it. They demand attention. It's hours before sheer exhaustion annihilates them. Poor things. I hope they try again at a more opportune moment. On the road again. The ideas are gone. What a waste. What a criminal waste. The entrance ramp is short and narrow. No place for cars to pull off. And the people here are suspicious of strangers, just like they were in Buffalo. The same murder stories are on the radio. This is ridiculous. I'm throwing in the towel. I shoulder my pack, walk back off the ramp. The bus station is only blocks away, and I'm tired of the hassle of hitchhiking out of the maze of city freeway networks. I'm still disgusted at the loss of those ideas last night, but I know that if I had let them get the upper hand, if I had let them take possession of my mind, I would have had no choice but to spend mucho bucks to fly right home and settle in for a long spell of composition. And I just can't do that yet. I've got business to attend to. More important people to see. Hitchhiking just aggravates the hurt. You stand there on display for the passing millions with no guarantee of ever going anywhere. You could shrivel up and die at the very entrance where you now stand. And there's so much time to think. Sometimes that's good, but right now it would be devastating. At least on a bus, you feel like you're definitely progressing, getting where you need to go. So you can give up this idiocy and return to those sheets of music paper and just sketch your little heart out for not letting good ideas getting away. Still, money is money, and I don't have much. So my bus trip is short, just 30 miles out of Rochester to a little town on an eastbound highway, Canandaigua. Wow, what a name. Not too big a town for such a big name. I mean, with a name like that, I expect to see Genghis Khan and his Mongol hordes camped out on the crest of a hill. You know what I mean? Canandaigua. It has a sort of a thunder to it, like it has some inexorable historical significance. Berlin or Hiroshima or Canandaigua. But no, it's a nice little town on the northern end of Lake Canandaigua, one of the 5 Finger Lakes, and today it is showing off its sparkling autumn colors. in a snappy, cold sunshine. It feels like Switzerland. I walked down the road through the town looking for Highway 20, just enjoying the freshness of the day and the cold light glinting off the lake as it shines, rippled in blue through the orange trees. I feel better. You just can't feel rotten on a day like this. Those ideas are gone, and so is the pressure. Time is going slowly again, and that is just fine. A car pulls up behind me and beeps, and I turn around and the driver waves at me. Sheesh, I hadn't even stuck my thumb out yet. Going east down 20? Yeah, I'm heading for Boston. Well, hop in and I'll get you as far as Geneva. That's where I turn north. Great, okay. His name is Zach. He's probably 55 to 60, wears wool pants and a down jacket and Reichley climbing boots. A wool cap is perched on his head above an enormous silver beard. An outdoorsman. Saw your insulite pad there from the back as you were walking. You doing much camping? Well, mostly just at night when it's too dark to hitchhike. I'm not really taking time out to hike or camp. Oh, where are you coming from? Seattle. Seattle. Oh, great. Fantastic climbing out there. I climbed Shuckson last summer. You know where that is? Oh, sure, just north of Lake Chelan. Yeah, gorgeous country out there. Sure is. You know, Lake Canandaigua back there kind of reminds me of Lake Chelan. It's like a mountain lake without the mountains. That's right. They're deep, too, these lakes. Called the Finger Lakes. Some of them, they never found the bottom. No kidding? Nope. You climb? Yeah, some. I'm kind of missing the mountains right now. It just doesn't seem right. I keep looking around. There must be a mountain range here somewhere. Nope, at least not like out west. But for climbing, man, you can't beat the gunks. Been climbing for 35 years and I'm not bored yet. Great rock. Say, this is Geneva, where I'm going north. Now, I think if you're going to Boston, you'd be better off on I-90. That's the New York Turnpike. Why don't you come on north and I'll drop you off right at the toll booth. You'll get longer rides from there. Well, I got kicked out of a toll booth yesterday, told it was illegal to hitchhike in the state, so I thought I better stay on the smaller roads. Bull, it's illegal to breathe in New York State, but people do it anyway. Just stay on the outside of the toll booth and they won't bother you. I hitchhike all the time. He smiles through his silver beard. Cops bother you, just tell them you're from out of state. You look pretty innocent. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, I-90 it is. He drops me off at the toll booth, hands me an apple, and heads north. The sun is low in the sky, and I do my usual routine. If I get benighted here, where should I sleep? Not too many cars come by, so I have lots of time to inspect the possibilities. Not by the toll booth, that's definitely out. There's an overpass in case it rains, but something a little more soft and cushiony would be nice. There's grass and tall weeds on the other side of the road that Zach disappeared up. Perhaps there, except the headlights of cars might catch me there. I prefer to remain well out of sight at night. After all, I've got to consider those murder stories, you know. There's a copse of trees over beyond the grass with what looks like mounds of dried leaves on the forest floor. That's it. Okay, all set. A car stops. Going east or west? What? East or west? Oh, east. Sorry, I'm going to Buffalo. Good luck. So long. Yeah, okay, have a good one. He drives off, and I look after him into the sunset. Puzzled. East or west? What did he mean? Don't all entrances point you in one direction or another? I look around and back up by the toll booth, a sign which I can hardly read in the brilliance of the orange light, has directions for both 90 East and 90 West. Of course, a turnpike. You get on and pay the devil his due and then pick your direction. Crap, I've been standing here for half an hour thumbing cars with no clue as to which way I'm trying to go. I feel not unlike a fool. I take out my notebook and write a big sign, East. I hold it up sheepishly as the next car drives by. It's another red pickup. It stops. A guy driving and a woman in the middle who scoots over to let me in. Are you a musician? She asks. I blanch visibly. Does it show that badly? What? Well, yes, I am a musician, but how did you know? Oh, I didn't. I just asked. Spacey, a bit spacey. She turns to her friend, the driver. Ben, this guy's a musician. As if he hadn't heard. She turns back to me and just stares, as if she's deliberating or sizing me up. I could be embarrassed, but it's much more pleasant to just stare back and enjoy the view. She's probably 28 or so, short, semi-curly blonde hair, big blue eyes, and maybe a little too much makeup, a classic nose, high cheekbones, and perfect mouth. She looks like a model, except there's something definitely peculiar about her stare, like she's reading my mind. I'm a musician too, she says suddenly. Isn't that right, Ben? Yep, says Ben rather absently. My name is Donna, and I'm a singer with a band, or at least I'm gonna be. I've got my guitarist and drummer already, and we just need a keyboard, pedal steel, and bass. Oh, nice, I say. What kind of stuff do you do? I'm trying to get this conversation off the ground, but she's just staring again. Abruptly, she turns and faces front. I'm good, too, huh, Ben? Yup, says Ben. I take it she does the talking, and he provides the yups. Okay, she says, what kind of stuff do I do? Well, sort of country rock, like Linda Ronstadt or maybe Carly Simon. You know, she adds suddenly and attacks me again with that gaze. It is disconcerting. I mean, she's 12 inches away and she's looking right into my eyes. If her boyfriend, or whatever Ben is, wasn't there, I'd assume she was propositioning me. But with Ben driving, it's more likely that she's just a Class A space cadet. Oh well, I stare back. Oh, that's great, I say. Have you performed before? Yes. Slight pause. You see, I'm a computer technician in the Army. It pays the bills, you know, and lets me have free time to practice my singing. I've sung on bass sometimes, and the GIs all say I'm good. Pause. She turns away. Of course, with GIs you never know. She turns back to me. And I've got a great body, right, Ben? Yep. And that's good, because you gotta be attractive to sing in front of a band, but you never know if your audience likes your voice or just your body, you know? She studies me carefully. Yeah, I guess that could be a problem. I have a feeling this is getting out of hand. I have great breasts, really firm. Suddenly she grabs my hand and places it firmly on her left breast. See? I'm in shock, and all I can think of is what Ben is thinking, and am I about to get mucked out by a jealous boyfriend? But Ben just keeps driving and says sort of distantly, "Don't weird him out, Donna." Okay, she says promptly, and removes my hand from her breast. But they are nice, don't you think? Yeah, I whisper feebly. I figure I'll wear a push-up bra and a low-cut blouse, and I'll have these great tight jeans, and probably a cowboy hat, and that'll be my image. You know, you got to have an image. Yeah. So what kind of music do you do? She asks and stares. Well, I write classical stuff mostly, but also a few songs. Yeah? What kind of songs? Folk or folk rock. Yeah, we should collaborate. Ben, this guy writes songs too. Yep. She turns to me very solemnly. Would you like me to sing for you here? Well, sure. She turns front, adjusts her hair, sings a scale to warm up, and then says, This is a song I wrote for a man I was very much in love with. After he left, I was very sad, and I wrote this song one morning at 3 a.m. It came from God. She sings, and she sings quite well. There's no backup band, and the acoustics in the cab of a pickup rolling down the turnpike are not flattering, but she still sounds good. There's a lot of feeling behind the otherwise quite standard lyrics, and her voice displays a remarkable agility in the many small embellishments that flavor her simple tune. It's country to the core, almost Appalachian or Ozark. She finishes and sits silently, looking up at the deepening twilight. There is silence. Well, what do you think? She looks expectant. She wants an answer. You're good, I say. I mean that. You're right. There's the guts of a Ronstadt, but also the light delicacy of a Joan Baez. Oh, that's so nice. Because you're a musician and I respect your opinion. Ben, he likes my voice. Yep. So now I've just got to find the rest of my band and then rehearse for a year and head for New York City. Do you think I'll make it? I know there's a lot of singers out there. Well, who knows? It's talent, luck, and contacts all rolled up together that make a star. I wish you lots of luck. Oh, thanks. She squeezes my thigh. I'll sing you another song. As she sings, the night comes down, and the full moon rises like an immense copper penny through the bare bones of some leafless trees. It's weird. It's spacey, but it's also warm and childlike and magical. She finishes a haunting tune, and we exit from the turnpike. They're heading south for Oneida. As I get out of the truck, she gives me her address and tells me to write. I say, okay, knowing I never will. And she reaches out and kisses me square on the lips. Ben looks over and says, so long. I stand there watching their taillights disappear. I'm stunned. I stare at the moon, which has cleared the trees and turned silver, lighting the plowed fields in a frozen light. I'm in no mood to hitchhike. I trudge off into an adjacent field and spread out my tent fly on the hard, frozen clods of earth. There's nowhere to hide. The moonlight exposes everything. I take off my boots, climb in bed, and stare at the moon. My mind is going again. I can tell it's going to be one of those nights. I get these every now and then when I just can't shut off the flow of thoughts. The body goes to sleep, but the conscious mind just whirls and spins as if it deliberately refuses to fall into unconsciousness. I'm thinking about Donna and her voice, and I'm thinking of copper moons and bones. I'm thinking of Donna's breast and wondering what might have happened if Ben hadn't been there. It's been a long haul since Seattle, a lot of nights sleeping alone. But Ben was there, and she's gone, and I'm again sleeping all alone, exposed in a field by a malignant moon. The night is evil. I feel afraid. Those radio stories echo around in my head. The murderers are still at large, driving around, possibly not far away. They could be approaching, coming down the lonely road, past the field where I lie in full view, vulnerable, soft. I feel the brittleness of my bones and the soft, sticky warmth of my blood out of the night. A truck roars towards me. A man jumps out, aims a rifle at my body. A flash and a roar, the bullet smashes into my groin. I feel my pelvic bone splinter into a million fragments and slice upward into my guts. I'm screaming, gasping, the pain, the pain. Let me die, oh God, let me die. My life is ebbing away as my blood pours out of my torn and shattered groin. The truck roars off into the night, its driver laughing insanely, and my eyes glaze over, and the moon shines down serenely. Jesus Christ! I jerk into reality. My God, what the hell was that? Goddamn sick imagination. It's too vivid sometimes. I'm shaking and sweating, my heart pounding. Jesus Christ. The field is empty. The road is empty. I've got to get a hold of myself. Calm down. I try to think of freight trains, but see myself slipping under a wheel. I think of Donna, but seeing myself being knifed by Ben. I try to think of Maria and Eastman and music, but the images just won't come. Christ, I'm scared and I don't know why. The moon moves slowly across the sky, and I watch it for what seems like an eternity. I grow more and more exhausted. But it's as if my unconscious brain is afraid to go to sleep, afraid that it won't wake up. Oh, please, 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 just let me sleep. The hours pass. 1, 2, 3. The moon finally sinks into the west and turns copper again. It's darker now, not so exposed. Too tired to worry, I'm sinking.